It's time for Let's Talk with Tara. Tara is a counseling coach who addresses real issues that plague many women today. Issues like church hurt, disappointment, anxiety, depression, and many more. You will be inspired, educated, and empowered on how to receive the help and healing needed to move forward. If you have real issues, then Tara has real solutions. Let's talk with Tara. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Hi, it is Monday, midday. Let's talk with Tara, and I am so excited today. Oh, wow, we are in October. The year 2020 has been a whirlwind, a whirlwind, but I'm excited today. I'm so glad that you're joining me today on my podcast, even though I am live on my social media outlets. Thank you for tuning in today. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to ask everyone to like and share and like. And of course, we are still talking from my book, my first book, Ladies, Let's Talk, Life, Lies, Love, and Relationships. You can purchase that book from Amazon, or you can go to my website at Tara T. Stallings Inc. Inc.com. And you can find it there. You can find it there. I am excited. So let's go ahead. Today we're continuing where we left off last week. We were talking about in our chapter love and relationships. We talked about some of the attributes of a person that's a lover in you. And as we relate to relationships, we're not just talking about intimate relationships. We're talking about relationship friendships, church relationships, business relationships, sibling relationships, parents relationships, all types of relationships. So as it relates to relationships, it's just not intimate relationships, not just male and female intimately, female opposite sex relationships. We're talking about all relationships. So let's go ahead and let's continue today. Last week we left off and we talked about lovers. And if you missed that podcast, you can always go to my podcast. You can find me on all podcast outlets at Let's Talk Tara. That's Let's Talk Tara. You can find me on Apple Pods, Apple, Google, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. iHeartRadio and Spotify. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Again, last week we talked about lovers, the attributes of lovers. Thank you guys for joining me again. Today we are talking about leeches, because we said we had two types of people in your life. You had those that are lovers, and you had those types of people that I consider as leeches. Now, again, this is not all the attributes, but these are some of the major ones that I wrote about in the book. Leeches. And I'm reading straight from the book, so and just kind of commenting a little bit more on going into more detail. Leeches, on the other hand, we talked about lovers. Let me just kind of go back, regress a little bit. We talked about lovers are always there to help you. Then they are never there to harm you in any form or method. Lovers do not manipulate you. True lovers do not manipulate you. But leeches, on the other hand, see your potentials and strengths, and they find ways to deter you from reaching them, either purposely or non-purposely. Now let's just stop there for a minute, because we're talking about the difference between a person that's a lover and a person that's a leech. Now, do we know exactly what a leech is? A leech is a parasite that sucks the blood of its host until it's full, and then it falls off. It sucks until, and sometimes it doesn't fall, it continues to grow. So a leech is something that sucks. It's a parasite that sucks the blood, and blood is vital to the person, to the host, until it's full. It's got its full of it. So leeches see your potentials and your strength, and they find ways to deter you from reaching them. That's either purposely or non-purposely. Leeches hear what you have to say, but they don't listen to what you say, mainly because they are more concerned with their own needs being fulfilled more than yours. Mainly because they hear you, but they're not listening, because they're not concerned about your needs. They're concerned about their needs being fulfilled. And we've all had a lover and a leech, or still do in our lives at one area, or one time, or segment in our life, or several. So, and I'm talking about this so that you can identify the difference, because so often we get with caught up and connected to people that we are attracted to. And we talked about it a little bit before. We are attracted to something about that person, but that person sometimes is a lover, but then sometimes that person is a leech. So you have to be purposeful and mindful when you connect to people, and the reason that you connect to people. We talked about that before. You connect with people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Make sure you have an understanding. The word, I always talk from the word of God. The word of God says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. But they also, and the other part of this is because they get the truth and they reject the truth. It's not because they just perish because of lack of knowledge, but when they get the truth, they reject the truth. So I'm here to give you some truths. So pay attention to the people, their surroundings, those that are in your circle, those that's trying to connect with you. Reason, season, or lifetime. Let's continue about leeches. Leeches have what I call the me mentality. Leeches have what I call the me mentality. Everything is always about me. And then when I'm talking about me, I'm talking about them. So what does that means? That their life is everything that they do, they say, they connect with, it's all about them. It's never about the person or the organization. It's all because what can they get from it? How is it going to benefit my purpose, my intent, my goals? It's never just to let me help you reach your goals. Let me be a part of what you're doing so that I can help you or glean from you or grow from you. It's only because they are using you or using the organization to get where they want to go, because they're selfish. Leeches are selfish people. They're very selfish. And let's continue. Leeches may have dreams, and again, let me just say this: this is not all the attributes, but these are the ones that when I lived it, these were the ones that were that were pointed out to me, that I recognized in the people that I connected myself to. Leeches may have dreams, but they lack the motivation and ability to self-sacrifice. The self-sacrifice needed to see them come to fruition. We just talked about it. I just said leeches are selfish. They're selfish. So when you're selfish, you lack self-sacrifice. When you are a selfish person, now we all can be selfish about certain things. And certain things you need to be selfish about, especially when it comes to your health. Certain things, all things in moderation. But a leech is a person that they're selfish, but they have dreams, they have motivations, they have ambitions. They don't have ambitions, but they have motivation. They have things that they want to do, but they always have an excuse. They have an excuse because they lack self-discipline, self-sacrifice. And I don't care what you do in life, you're going to have to sacrifice. something. And I share this with a lot of my clients, with just my friends. One thing with my children, my grandchildren, I talk about this. Life is about sacrifice. You either sacrifice on the front end or you're going to sacrifice on the back end. But you're going to sacrifice. Now, what you're going to sacrifice determines you. It's all determined by you. You know, and I use with my kids and grandkids, you know, you want straight A's, you want a good grades, you want to get in a good college, you have to sacrifice now, put in the work now to get your schoolwork, get your grades up, you know, learn what you can learn, pass the test, so that if you're trying to get a scholarship, you're trying to get in the college that you want to get into, you sacrifice now so that you can get where you want to go later. You can get those scholarships. You can get that great job. You can get that degree. But you have to sacrifice. And most people don't want to sacrifice. They want things, leeches. They want things in life, but they don't want to sacrifice anything to get it. They just assume, especially in this generation of the millenniums, they want things to be handed to them. They want things to be handed to them. So let's keep going. So I'm going to read that one again. It says, leeches. Uh-oh. I think my thing went out. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, we still up. It says that leeches, they may have dreams, but they lack motivation and ability to self-sacrifice that's needed to see them come to fruition, while at the same time speaking negatively towards your dreams. Wow, let's talk about that. Because you have people that will speak negatively. They have dreams, but they don't want to sacrifice. And when you share your dreams with them, they shoot them down. They tell you, I don't know about that. Man, you shouldn't do that. Well, you know, nobody's going to come. People are not going to do this. And I can use myself for an example. 12 years ago, when I decided to become a life coach in this area, nobody knew what a life coach was. Nobody, and everybody asked me, a life coach? What's a life coach? Nobody knew on the on this coast, on the East Coast, what a life coach was. Now, the West Coast, people have been using life coaches for years. But for me, and everybody asked when I got ready to go to educate myself in school again to get my psychology degree, my counseling degree. You know, I had people saying, well, you already have a successful business. Why would you do this? Are you going to be able to get a job? Blah, blah, blah. So they were like, I don't understand. Side note, some things that you do, keep it to yourself, because people are not going to understand what you're doing. They're not going to understand your dreams, your ambitions, your motivation, because it's yours, it's not theirs. Let's keep going. So they will speak negatively towards your dreams and your ambitions and your goals. Leeches are okay with you reaping. Listen now, leeches are okay with reaping the benefits of your accomplishments. They're okay with reaping the benefits of your accomplishments, while inwardly, uh, uh, but they are inwardly jealous of your success. You have people that they don't meaning this, you know, let's put it in layman's terms. They will hang around you, they will suck off of you while you step up the ladder of success and get the benefits of it, you know, going places, being connected with the right people, whatever. But then they are inwardly jealous of who you are. And unfortunately, some of those people are the people that you love the most. You know, they will. I said this a few months, but maybe a year or so back, and I learned a lesson about people that I was connected to at one time. People will tolerate you. People will tolerate you. That doesn't mean that they're celebrating you. They're just tolerating you. And leeches, they tolerate you until you're not needed anymore. Until you're not needed anymore, because they have gotten what they need from you, whatever it was, you know, somebody to cry, a shoulder to cry on, whatever they needed. And then when they're done with you, they're done, they move on. So we have to be careful with leeches. They will ride they will ride your train. They will ride your boat. They will, yeah, 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 yes, do this and help you and all of that. But inwardly, they're like, I'm jealous of your success. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to make my connections. Now, let me just say this. It's nothing wrong with connecting with people on your way to success, because the Bible, the Word of God talks about this. You be faithful in another man's business. You be faithful with helping someone else, and God will make you ruler over your own stuff. But you got to be faithful with the right intent, not faithful in helping people get to their level of success or successes while being jealous. Because you can have a room full of life coaches, a room full of coaches, a room full of entrepreneurs, a room full of people that's doing the same thing. You have a room full of 10 people, let me say that, and 100 other people come in to be consumers. Everybody's not going to shop with the same person. They're not created for that. You have your set of people that are created for you, that's going to be receptive to who you are and what you have to offer. Let's keep going. Leeches always make excuses for their wrongs, never taking full responsibility for them. They always make excuses for their wrongs. It's always an excuse for why they, you know, are not accountable for what they have done wrong. That's what leeches do. But then they make excuses for it. Now, have I been a leech before? I have, unfortunately. And that's why I can talk about it. But I recognized it, that I was being selfish. I was just trying to get what I needed to get from that person, that organization, and not trying to give to help it better. Help better the betterment of that. So you have to be careful. Leeches they always make excuses for their wrong. Whether and a lot of times what they do, they blame it on other people. Well, this happened because this happened. This happened because that happened. And I learned this as always being in a leadership position. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you take accountability for it. You take accountability for it. I remember this situation. Let me see how much more time I got. I got enough time to talk about it. I remember this situation that I had working on an organization that I still have it. I just changed the name of it. And had some credit cards, trying to build it up, whatever. And I had a person that was working with me that hey, I got them a credit card in their name. I said, hey, this is for you, but make sure this is a limit, because American Express cards, you can only spend a certain amount or whatever. So I got the card, trying to build a business or whatever, and I trusted them. Well, if you know anything about American Express, you got to pay it in 30 days. Well, I trusted them. They were using it, and I told them, I said, hey, just let me know, make sure, whatever. Long story short, the bill came up to $18,000. I had an $18,000 bill. I had an $18,000 bill that after over a few months that I had to pay. And then let me put my part in there, because I was doing some stuff that I shouldn't have done, charging enough to pay the bills instead of just paying the bill, because we didn't have the money to come in. But needless to say, I learned a lesson. At the end of the day, I was irresponsible as being a leader to give a card to a person that worked in an organization besides myself. I was irresponsible. So at the end of the day, I was responsible for that $18,000 bill. I was. No matter, what they said they were going to help pay or whatever, didn't matter. At the end of the day, because I was in the leadership role and I was the head, I had to take responsibility for everything that went right or everything that went wrong. And that's what a lover does. Let's keep moving. Leeches throw themselves, oh God, listen to this, you guys. Leeches throw themselves pity parties and are consistently inviting people to join. Do you know people like that? It's always woe is me. I never get a break. Oh, life is this. And, people don't try to help me and people don't join me. Listen, I had to learn this, because I said I've been a leech. Yes, I've been a leech before. Let me share this. People don't have to connect with you. They don't have to connect with you. You want to make it so people want to connect with you. And you're going to have those people in your life. They're not going to connect with you. I live in a city in Augusta, Georgia, and it is a cliquish city. And if you don't hang with the right clique, they don't recognize you unless somebody of another nationality, ethnic group, puts you on, recognizes you. And then they come to you. But that, guess what? It's nothing I can do about that, because my word says promotion doesn't come from the north, south. It comes from above. I mean, it comes from the east and the west. It comes from above. It comes from God. Promotion does. So I had to learn that, because I used to get upset. Oh, I know these people, and then I see them and they act funny, whatever. That's on them. I'm not for everybody. I'm just for the people that God has ordained to me, and I thank God for those people, because my purpose is to help people, and you have to know, who your target audience is, and it may not be the people in your area. It may not be your family members. It may not be your friends. The word of God says this, and I say the word of God because that's what it is. A prophet that has no honor in his own town. So I don't look for accolades. If I get them, fine. I look to make sure I'm pleasing God and make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to help the people that I'm supposed to help. Yes, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. Leeches do the right things. Listen. Wow. Listen, leeches do the right thing with the wrong motives. They do the right things, but with the wrong motives. How many times have we done that? I mean, I'm guilty of it. I was guilty of it in the past. I've done the right thing for the wrong motive, with the wrong motive, to get a pat on the back or to be seen. And I had to check myself with that. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I saying what I'm saying? Why am I trying to be friendly with certain people? Is it because that's my personality, or am I lacking self-esteem? Do I need them to make me feel adequate? Do I need them to make me feel like I am adequate enough? Leeches respond, let's keep going. Leeches respond to your needs, not so much out of love, this just talked about it, but for recognition. They respond to your need, not so much out of love, but for recognition. And when I say that, you ever been around people that will do things for you? They'll open the door, they get your groceries, they do all these nice things for you just to say, well, I did that for you. I did that for you. I had a conversation with someone, and they were ranting and raving and carrying on, about, I'm a good person and this and this and this, and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this. If you're not doing it from your heart, meaning if you're not going to do something, if you need recognition for it, if you need people to say, well, I did, so and so did this for me, or you did this for me, and I owe you this, or for me to, and you should tell people thank you. Don't get me wrong, but if you're looking for that, if you're looking for that pat on the back, if you're looking for me to put you on a pedestal, if you're going around telling people that I did this and I knew this and I do, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Right thing for the wrong reason. You're doing the right, and you have leeches that do that. They do the right things seemingly, but they do it for the wrong reason. So really, they're not doing it from the heart. They're doing it for themselves, because we said leeches are selfish. They're not doing it because they're trying to help you out. They're doing it because they need the accolades. They need for you to pat them on the back and say, "Oh, you great. You preached a great sermon. You gave a great word. You this, you that." Listen, you don't need those are leeches. Those are leeches. Y'all know I get excited and I start going on. I start my little preach mode. But anyway, so those are leeches. Those people are leeches. They do the right things with the wrong motives. Oh God, this time is going by so fast. Leeches respond to your, that's it. Not so much out of love, but for recognition. Leeches show love. Listen to this. Leeches show love when the conditions meet their criteria. If it's not for them, if the criteria is, if it's not meeting what they need, that's not, they're not going to show you love. It's only because if it's meeting that criteria, and most of the time it's for sure. If nobody's going to see it, I'm not going to do it. Leeches use many methods of manipulation, methods to manipulate you for their own gratifications. Leeches are great manipulators. Now, we all have manipulated in the past. We all have in one degree or another or several. But when I say leeches, I'm talking about people that's part of who they are, because we said a leech is a parasite. It's a parasite. It sucks you. It continues you. Continue. It's not about you. It's about them. It's that me mentality. Leeches can and will do hurtful and harmful things in an attempt to control you. Now, I had to learn this lesson from a family member, and it hurt my heart so bad. Whew. But lessons that teach you, they hurt. A lot of lessons hurt. They were doing the right thing, but telling everybody, oh, I'm doing this for them, I'm doing that for them. I was in a season where I needed some help financially, and they were there to help me, and I thank them for it, don't get me wrong. But on the flip side, it was, you were helping me on one end, seeming like, hey, yeah, I'm here for you. But on the flip side, you were tearing me down, telling people, oh, I'm doing that. I do that for them. They need me for this. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Doing the right thing for the wrong reason. Right thing for the wrong reason. And leeches, and they were in an attempt to control you. And what happened is, when I spoke about it, or I said, hey, well, I'm not going to do such and such and such and such. Well, I do this for you. Wait a minute. Just because you do something for me, does it automatically make me have to do something for you? That's not love. That's a leech. Just because, and if you're doing things in expectation for others to do for you, that's wrong. I own several businesses, and I work with several people, and I don't expect them. I don't expect them to say, oh, I can. If you can't do it, you can't do it. I don't expect for you to say, well, she the boss, you can do it. No, I don't treat people like that, because I have the right to tell you no, for whatever reason it is. If I don't want to do it, or whatever, I have that right. I don't care what you've done for me. I have the right. I have the right, and you have the right to tell a person no at any time. And it should not be backlash because they've done something for you in the past. That's a leech. My God, y'all, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Leeches lack the ability to truly love a person because they lack love for themselves. I'm going to read that again. Leeches lack the ability to truly love a person because they lack love for themselves. And that's just true. Leeches are parasites. Parasites don't love. They just uh, connect to a host where they can suck the life out of them to get what they need. It's never about giving. It's always about taking. And because a leech is a person, they lack love themselves. They don't love themselves. Now, they may say that they love themselves. We all, that's a cliche word. Oh, I love myself. If you love yourself, you wouldn't do anything to harm yourself. You wouldn't do anything to harm others. You wouldn't do anything intentionally. So we have to really reevaluate who we are. You guys, are you a lover or are you a leech? Are you a lover or are you a leech? I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but my time is up for today. You have been listening to Monday Midday with Let's Talk Tara. Of course, I've been reading from my book, Ladies Let's Talk, Life, Lies, Love, and Relationship. This is my first book. You can purchase this book from Amazon. Life, Life, Love, and Relationship by Tara T. Stallings, or you can go to my website, TaraTStallings.com, TaraTStallingsInc.com, and purchase that book from there. I thank you guys for joining in every Monday midday with me on my podcast. Remember, every Tuesday, it's talk therapy with myself and my co-host Melody Manning. Inspired by Melody. Make sure you follow her. Make sure you like and share our pages, and tune in tomorrow at 6, from 6 to 6 to 7 for talk therapy. But until then, and listen, go back and listen to the replay. We're going to talk some more next Monday. Monday midday. So until then, next week, you guys, thanks for joining me. Love you guys. Be safe.
You have been listening to Let's Talk with Tara. We hope you've enjoyed this show.